All right, Counterpunch Boxing. What's up, YouTube? Okay, look, I want to go over the weight issues going on in the Gennady Golovkin Daniel Jacobs fight. He likes to be referred to as Daniel now, not Danny. He says he's a grown man. It's not Danny. It's Daniel Jacobs. I wanted to bring it up the other day, and I keep getting sidetracked in these videos, but this is really important, so I want to share it with you guys, and I'll make it quick. I'll try to trim down the next couple of videos that I do. Okay, go back 30 days ago. Okay, now we all know the WBC, they have the mandatory 30-day weigh-in, and then they have the mandatory 7-day weigh-in, which we just had Saturday. Okay, so let's go back to the 30-day weigh-in. All right, I'm going to round up. Daniel Jacobs, he was 174.8, right? So we're going to call it 175, okay? Golovkin was 165.1. We're going to call it 165, okay? Um, so if you go back 30 days, Jacobs was 15 pounds above the weight limit. Okay, where Gennady Golovkin was only 5 pounds. All right, and they had a 10-pound difference. Okay, now let's jump in to 2 days ago, the 7-day weigh-in, because 7 days before the fight, March 18th, they have the 7-day weigh-in. Okay, Jacobs 167.8, so 100, basically 168 pounds, and Gennady Golovkin 162. Now, I mean, look, if you really look at this and break it down, I mean, it just says a lot, okay? Like I said, the month leading into the fight, Jacobs had to lose 15 pounds. Now he's got to lose at least a pound a day. Okay, so he's got to lose at least 1 pound a day in order to make the middleweight limit on March on the 17th. Actually, he's got like less than that, man. He's got to lose like 1 pound something ounces like per day, just to make weight. So I'm wondering, is this guy even going to make weight? And why is he so heavy? I started looking into it, and I don't know if you guys know, I mentioned it before, but in case you haven't watched any of my other videos, Virgil Hunter is in the camp helping Jacobs. Andre Ward's coach, Virgil Hunter. We all know who Virgil Hunter is, okay? And Chris Algieri is the nutritionist, okay? Now, how odd is that? Which, you know what, I think it's kind of a good gig for Algieri. I mean, that's kind of his niche. I don't really think boxing is his thing. I think he would do really good as a trainer or a nutritionist, something like that, because, he's got the IQ, the intelligence, and all that, but, I think his boxing days are about over. Um, but, being that Algieri is his nutritionist, okay, and you have Virgil Hunter in there, I mean, you have like this all-star team, like, why is this guy so heavy? Well, from what I've heard, I mean, I don't know, it may not be true, but what I heard, they want Jacobs to come in heavy. They want him to come in like around 180, 178, 180 on fight night. And, they want him to be, like 20 pounds heavier than Gennady Golovkin, which, I mean, I think that is a complete mistake because, I mean, if anything, Jacobs needs to be light on his feet so he can evade and have mobility and speed, things like that. So I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I can't make any sense of this. Like I said, his weight is it seems to be an issue, and I'm starting to wonder, is he even going to make weight? By the way, there David Lemieux knocked out Stevens. Look, I predicted David Lemieux would knock out Curtis Stevens, and I said it wouldn't go past 6, and he did it in 3. Um, it's kind of funny before, leading up to the fight, of course, the reporters, they like to ask questions about Gennady Golovkin because, Curtis Stevens fought Golovkin and so did Lemieux. And Stevens was talking all kinds of shit, saying that he didn't really hit that hard. And, I always like to go back to this picture and say, oh, really? Oh, my battery's running low. But, and David Lemieux actually gave Gennady Golovkin a lot of respect. So, big shout out to Lemieux. And here's the thing that I wonder. Okay, and again, I keep complaining about these other channels. I mean, why don't they make a video going over how Golovkin made such easy work of these guys, right? I mean, Golovkin made just, it was an easy night with Lemieux and Curtis Stevens, and it shows you, that I'm not a big fan of the triangle theory, but in this case, it could be used, it could be applied. Okay, I mean, look what Golovkin did to these two guys, all right? And Lemieux showed incredible power, man, and speed. And people were saying, well, where was that power in the Golovkin fight? Where wasn't it? Here's the thing: is that's the whole point. Golovkin, he with them body shots and all that, man, he takes it out of you. He just takes it out of you. And you're a different boxer in front of Golovkin. Okay, he just takes it out of you. But anyway, let me get back to the weigh in here. Yeah, one more thing. I mean, you look at Lemieux right there. They always talk about how he has a lot of problems making weight, and he does. I mean, he's admitted himself that he has a hard time draining down to middleweight. Okay, but right here, I mean, look at the size difference. Okay, now we know Jacobs, he's got the height, he's got the reach, he's got pretty much any and every advantage over Gennady Golovkin right now. And the weight, apparently, like I said, this guy is going to come in, fucking damn near like a cruiserweight, at least like a light heavyweight. And Golovkin, we know Golovkin comes in around 170 pounds. So I think Jacobs is going to outweigh him by 8 to 10 pounds on fight night, and that's if he can even make weight. Now, if he misses weight, I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. I think at that point it would the team Golovkin would have to make that decision, and I'm sure they would continue on with the fight. So, but yeah, I mean he's longer, stronger, taller, like I've mentioned before, and and also Jacobs in an interview, he talks about, well, we're reviewing tape, we're looking at the success that Kell Brook had against Gennady Golovkin, and they're going to try to kind of, formulate a plan based on that fight, which I think is another mistake. So I don't know. I don't see things looking too good for Jacobs right now. I mean, first of all, this is not the time for him to be changing up his style. Okay, I mean it's not the time for him to be experimenting with a heavier body in a new style. So I just it's just not the time. I mean, it's like the biggest fight of his career, and he needs to be at his normal comfortable weight, at his familiar weight, and getting there and do his thing, right? Now, in sparring, Gennady Golovkin is dropping cruiserweights and light heavyweights. I mean, this is what, you can go to YouTube and pull it up. I mean, there's tons of videos, and, they're talking about how, Golovkin was sparring with a cruiserweight, and they did 2 rounds, I think, 2 or 4, and dropped him 6 times. I mean, shit, and this guy is up for like a title fight. This isn't just some, like sparring partner. Dropped him 6 times, a cruiserweight. So, I mean, that tells you, what kind of power that he has, right? But, but the question is, and we all want to know, and you know what, before I say that, let me tell you one more thing that is really important. In the beginning, I even said that the Jacobs fight is kind of a Dominic Wade 2.0. I said Jacobs is just like another Dominic Wade. But I take that back. I take that back because I kind of underestimated Jacobs, And not only that, I don't want to take anything away from Golovkin. I do believe this is his biggest challenge, right? I mean, I don't want to play the fight down so other channels can say, well, hey, you even said that Jacobs, he's getting knocked out and it's easy work. No, I think this will be his toughest challenge, and we'll see what happens. Now, I will tell you who I think Gennady Golovkin might have a few problems with, and that's Jermar Charlo. Okay, Charlo. Now, you all know I live really close to the Charlo twins. They train at Plex Gym near my house. I interviewed them a couple of weeks ago. I got my press credentials, and I went to the Fox One PBC Premier Boxing Champions deal, whatever, and interviewed these guys. And Charlo said, he would definitely be interested in a Golovkin fight. I have it on video, but it's so damn loud in there. You can't even hear them. But I mean, I could post it, I guess, and maybe put like subtitles or some shit. But but he said he's one step away from being Golovkin's mandatory. So in other words, if Charlo or when Charlo wins his next fight, he will be Golovkin's mandatory. And I can tell you right now, if anyone out there can give him more problems than Jacobs, I truly believe it is Jermal. Their names, I mean, it's so confusing. Charlo. So, I mean, I just, I truly believe that. So, but yeah, look, one more thing I want to kind of point out, going back to that Kell Brook fight. I mean, another thing that I said leading up to it, that Golovkin was just not himself, right? I said he didn't look himself, he didn't look right, he looked kind of green and pale. He just didn't look right. And I was watching another video earlier today, and they pointed out something that, I mean, I didn't even really think about. Golovkin had to go from California all the way over to the UK. He went through 3 different time zones, right? 3 different time zones across the Atlantic. Had to acclimate to their weather because the weather is completely different over there. Acclimate to their time. I think I'm pretty sure they were having like internal problems in their camp, and that he just something was off during that Brook fight. And look, I think he did a great job in that Brook fight. Now I wish he would have boxed a little better, but overall, I mean, he beat the guy in what, 5 rounds. I mean, so you can't really complain. But this fight here, Madison Square Garden, there's no acclimation, there's no time zones, and I don't think, or there's not much of a, anything like that to worry about. So I think we're going to get a good performance, a good solid performance out of Golovkin, and truly, like I said, I'm a little bit concerned about Jacobs. I mean, what's he doing here? Like I said, the guy's got to lose, damn near a pound a day, or more. And Golovkin, the WBA, WBC, IBO, IBF, and this will be, for to consolidate the belt. So, he will have full possession, and he'll move on to the WBO against Saunders, becoming the undisputed middleweight champ, which is awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. So, anyway, yeah, I just want to throw out a quick one and kind of go over the weight issues right now, and we'll see what happens, and during the weigh-in I'll put out another video, and we'll see what happens. But I think I think he will make it. I mean, there is a possibility that he won't make weight, but I mean, man, like I say, he's going to drain down a pound a day, and then they're talking about coming in nearly 180, 175, 180 on fight night. So they're going to drain down a pound a day and then put on 18, 19 pounds overnight. It's crazy. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll have another video coming out today, so be sure to check it out.